So this video is about hip mobility for cyclists, and this goes along with the video I shot about how flexibility can affect your position on the bike. So a lot of times how your hip mobility affects you on the bike, it can affect you in a couple different ways, but specifically what I'm talking about is if you lack the ability to bring your leg up, right? Meaning like you're on the bike and your leg will come up, but it only goes so far because it lacks flexibility here. Then in order to make more room for your leg to come up, what you'll do is actually tilt your pelvis back, right? Sort of like in this type of thing, okay? So, and then that tilting your pelvis back then basically makes this part of your back more upright instead of being down, and affects your bike fit. So the hip flexibility is really important when it comes to achieving that efficient position on the bike. So the first one that I want to show you is, it's just kind of a combination of a hip flexibility and some still posterior chain flexibility, is what they call the pigeon stretch, right? So that's where you're going to take your leg and bring it underneath, just like this. And again, you'll feel this in the glutes quite a bit, and you can lean forward if you want, depending on how much flexibility you have. And again, I would do like 10 or 15 seconds on each side, maybe 5 times on each side, and work on that flexibility. The next one that I like to have people do is what I call the 90-90 stretch, okay? So you start with both legs at 90 degrees, or both knees at 90 degrees, and you usually will feel this side more. You're stretching into internal rotation of the hip. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna rock back and forth, just like this. And try to do it without putting your hands down. If you have to start by putting your hand down, that's fine, but you want to get to the point where you can do it just like this, okay? And then once you get comfortable with that and you come over here to this side, you can also start lifting the leg up like that, and that will kind of reinforce with some muscle contraction that internal rotation of the hip for some increased hip mobility. The third thing that I'll have people do and kind of explore is doing an assisted squat down to the bottom. So you can grab something that's hanging from up high, or even just like a bar, and to kind of hold yourself up. And then what you want to do is you want to go down all the way into the squat. You want to kind of have your feet out wide and your toes out to the side, and try to work on that bottom of the squat position down there, okay? You can also use weight to do it, grabbing a kettlebell, and then having the weight of the kettlebell actually help to assist you down here at the bottom, okay? And you kind of rest into the very bottom of the squat. Now, if you have, if you're doing either one of these where you're going down the bottom of the squat and you have like some pinching or some pain, that's something where I would assess that, and see is there any pathology going on there that could be limiting your ability to hip flex all the way down there at the bottom. Because that could be an injury or something that we need to treat differently other than with just a stretch. So those are a couple things. There's several different exercises and mobility stuff we do for hips. Those are three of them that I use. So give those a try. And again, see if by improving that hip mobility and improving some posterior chain flexibility that you're able to achieve a more efficient position on the bike.